Hi, welcome to the new video. I am Rohit Desai, co-founder of JB Experts. Today we are going to discuss on product selection for export business. With an example, I'm going to use turmeric powder. We have already done a lot of videos over product selections or the ways to select the product, but still people still feel the challenge over there. And there are a lot of geopolitical situations at the moment. So even we are going to discuss on those two so that it can help to understand each and everything. So let's get started. The first one, what we are going to see here is the step-by-step process, how to select the right product for export purpose. So when it comes to an export business, so the first thing what you need to look at as an exporter is the demand. So if you understand, if the people are there to buy your product, either it could be a push business or a pull business, you'll still be okay with it. Even if you see, push business is something that, okay, we do marketing, we get the people onboarded, and then we sell them. But when it comes to a pull business, it's like, okay, people know about it. Now people are crazy. They are coming voluntarily. So there are two different businesses. So 99.9% of the products that we deal in export business, these are all the push business. Normally people need something, they may show interest, but they due to competition, it's always the push business. So what you need to look at is, one is the market demand, is the people are buying it. If they are buying it, what is the trend? So is it growing, or is it like a dip, or what is it? Exactly, it's on an uptrend or either on a downtrend. Or there are few products that are on the side trends. The order doesn't go more than 3 or doesn't fall under 6. So it's all the side trends. So out of these trends, what you need to look at is, okay, who are currently buying the product? That is one sure shot we need to look at as the market. When you see, okay, there is something like a oil product. Okay, so if you're planning to export oil, you need to look at who is already buying the product, and you need to look for the further more as like who may buy the product. Because normally the people who are buying it, they're already buying it from someone else. It may take time for you to convert it. But when you see these products who may also buy your product, these are the people who don't have any supply chain set up yet. So there are challenges that they are going to face, or they are already facing it. So you can still get in a pitch, but maybe or may not they may have licenses, or they have experience, or they are maybe or may not be willing to do it. But this is a sure shot hit. They're already doing it. You have to catch hold of them. Second is, you need to find the other people to expand your markets. Why your competitors are not focusing there, that is also something you need to find the answer for. If they are not focusing, then you can just by switching your targeting, it really works well. It's a miracle. And many times people they have not tried it. That's the only thing. Apart from that, we have the orders coming in from various departments or various sectors which you have never thought of it. So this is something that you need to look innovative and see. If someone is buying, you need to target him first. The second is who is not buying but who may buy it, who has the capacity to buy it. So just help them out, show the value, and you can start selling your products to them. So that really works. Then moreover, the second point is, look into your competitors. Are you better than them in any point? Quality, pricing, value adding edge, anything. It's just like, sir, I'm just a Me Too kind of a business, right? So it's like a Me Too business. So then probability of getting success is very minimal. Either you need to be better in point of pricing, either you need to be better in point of quality, either you need to be better in point of any value adding services that may really help you. Or else it's like, sir, you're buying at 8, okay, I'll give at 7. This is only the price drop what you can do. Apart from that, there is no value that you can add up for it. How long you're going to do it? So there is always, I say like, okay, there is someone in the business who wants to be out of business faster than you. You're selling at 8, someone will give at 7. So if someone is giving at 7, someone will give at 6, or someone will give at 5. So it goes on by dropping the prices, dropping the quality, standards, cutthroat competitions. So this is not where you need to get into. Tell the people what's the value that you are providing. Based on that, charge them. If that's not something that you're doing, then yeah, really your business is in trouble, or you need to find a innovative way to do it. Either change in packaging, either change in quality, either change in standardizations, either change in offerings, something like that. If you're not doing it, then there is serious trouble for your business. You can't do anything about it. Everyone looking for the buyers is not really going to do it. Just looking at buyers, but not sure, like, okay, I don't understand what buyers need. Then there is no demand that you understand, there is no competitiveness you can understand, and what is the challenge that they are facing that you can solve them. That is not the way they're going to pay you an extra penny. So think over it. And the next thing is you need to look at the regulatory fit. One is the product should not be in a prohibited or a restricted category. Restricted is somehow manageable because you need an additional license for it, right? So, but when it comes to a prohibited, then it's no deal. You cannot do it. Like for example, there are few what do you call elements or material that is not something that good for human health, like drugs, that, this, all of this. So even wildlife, right? So smuggling of wildlife is also not being entertained. So these are all something comes in the prohibited category. Human organs, it's a legal transaction, that's a different thing. But normally, which is something as illegal substances, then this is the prohibited category. So restriction is something that, okay, this is restricted for a time, maybe for 10 days, 2 months, 3 months, something like that. So if it's a time duration bond, then it's okay. You can still take approvals, which is advance authorizations or export license. Then you can just start exporting. Then comes you need to understand what certification does it need. In regulatory fit, one is it should be not be in both the list. Even if prohibited is not there, restricted is there, still you can get into it, but you need to check whether how long the restriction can be there. Then you need to look at the saying that, okay, what are the certification extra that you need? So it depends on the product, FDA, FSSI, ISO, etc., etc. So it depends what exactly the standards that you are dealing in, and if there is a demand in the global market, you need to understand which market are you pitching, and based on the market, you need to look forward what are the certifications that is needed. There are few set of documents that you need in Indian markets, that's for sure. But when you are exporting this product into the global market and your market is completely different, because there is something document wise, it's something like, okay, India, as to export from India, you need a set of documents, that is for sure. There is something like, okay, for European Union, there is a different set of documents. While getting the products to Europe, then you need to have a different set of licenses, approvals, registrations. If that is there, only then your products can come into European Union. If not, no. So is those licenses are like short time licenses, or is it like, okay, if I pay money, will I get it? Or is there something like an audit goes on? So many products comes with an audit or a factory inspection. So you need to look for it. What kind of a product is it? Is it like organic certifications, or is there any additional certifications that you may need to take? So then comes the tariff and technical trade barriers. So look towards the import tariff. However, the market is like, it's not prohibited, it's good, the prices are good, we can do a value adding. But like US, Trump doesn't want you to send the products to his market. Now 50% tariff is up. If the government is not in a favor, like Indian government, they don't like Indian products, or they want to put a sanction on Indian products, so then this is not an attractive market. If someone is keep on adding the prices or what do you call the tariff, then it's not really going to help you. Okay. Then there is some standard rules for standard labeling, packaging. You need to look at, okay, what language do they speak? What specifications they need to be mentioned on the labels, right? One is the language, second is the specifications, third is the nutritional value or something. So it depends again what product you're dealing in. So every product changes because the standardization is not going to be the same for the product which is in FMCG and engineering equipments. Engineering equipments, you don't need a nutritional value because you're not going to consume it. But when it comes to FMCG products, these are like consumables. You need to mention what is the nutritional value, what is the ingredients, what are the other stuffs. So these are very much important. So think about it. And you cannot eliminate tariffs because that's a thing that you need to pay. If anything coming to the border, then there is a tariff which is involved that you need to pay for sure. Yep. So then there is always an option of looking towards the other side. It's like, okay, if someone is imposing the tariff on raw materials, you can still go and look for semi-processed. If someone is imposing the tariff on semi-processed, you can still go for raw or a full finished products. So these are the strategies what you can use it to shift your categories to just to save out from on your import tariff. Okay, just in case, like, okay, whatever comes from India is being imposed. Then US is already done it, so almost like 50% is the pay what you're going to do. There is no way that you can squash it off. The one other route what we may use is like, okay, if your trade friendly hubs are there, like for example Dubai and Singapore, what you can do is you can send it from India to Dubai and then do the repacking and see the value adding thing to get the international certifications. Based on that, you can plan accordingly and then you can export it from there. But the problem is, if the country has put a trade barrier or if they have imposed the tariff on the country, even if it's rerouted via Dubai. So the first thing is you send it from India to Dubai and then you're going to send it to US. But now, if this has been accepted, then you need to plan establishment or a packaging unit in Dubai. If that's not happening, then you need to call it off. Even this strategy will not work. That means this market or the market what you're planning is completely gone. So never ever plan your business in such a way that you can suffer later. So this is one of the markets. Not every market may put the tariff at that level because Trump has gone crazy these days. So that's absolutely one of the point that we are suffering. But it's okay. Whatever he feels, he'll do it. And at the end of the day, it's his country, his president, and it's his responsibility, however you want to do it. But when it comes to us, we decide where our product goes and how do we send it out, right? So logistics and shelf life. I understand US is a big market, but yeah, unfortunately, we can't do anything about it, right? So there are a few things I'll cover in the next slide. So here, the other point what you need to look at is the logistics and shelf life. The products which is being exported, shrimp, spices and machines are not the same way you send it. It has a different requirements, it has a different process to export and it is being packed and shipped in a different manner. So you need to be very sure what is the logistic requirement for your products. Can you do bulk? There are a few good products, but we cannot do it in bulk. For example, saffron. Damn expensive product. So whenever we send it by air. That comes under spice category, but still we send it by air. We don't send it by containers because spice saffron is really expensive and people don't need it in tons or kgs. It never goes in a metric tons. It goes just in kgs or pack, right? Or numbers if I have to say. So this is something you need to check. So shrimps goes in minus 18 degree temperature. Minus 18 degree and spices goes in normal ambient temperature. Machineries depends again what big machineries you're sending. Is it a turbine or is it an engine or is it something like wind turbines or is it something like a crafted like modified electrical or electronical components which is like huge. You cannot load it into a container. You need to go for a bulk container where it's like open container or a flat bed or something like that. You need to change the equipment there. So understand what is the logistic need. Then comes the shelf life. If your product has a shelf life more than 7 days, right? If it's more than 7 days, then it's a point then okay, you can ship it. Even by air at least. Because by the time it reaches, it is almost 2 days are consumed. Rest you have around 5 more days to sell it. But if your shelf life is not more than 3 days, it's less than 3 days. So basically what's going to happen here is, by the time the product is reached, it's almost going to die. And if you don't sell it in a day's time, the whole business is going to end. So shelf life without using preservatives, is it something that you can handle it? Good. Or else, no, you cannot do this business. However good the product may be, you are solving all the problems, but if your shelf life is killing it, you can't do anything about it. Next, everyone is here for the business. No one is here for the charity, for sure. So when you are looking for a profitability, if your numbers don't speak the profits, Someone is like, okay, we are exporting onions to Dubai. I'm purchasing at 27. I'm selling at 22 because the market is down in Dubai. Just because all the supplies are coming from India is too much and market demand is not so much. So in those cases, if the demand drops, supply is more, the prices are going to fall. That's a basic economics. Okay. So if that situation comes in, your number should speak for itself. If this is not happening, then never get into that business. Perishable, never. If you are a first timer, don't do it. Perishable, which is something like shelf life is not more than 7-8 days, or it needs a temperature to be controlled. If some buyers may play out with you, then you're gone. You'll be out of business. There is no point that you'll be able to sustain not more than 2-3 trades. That's it. 1 or 2 trades, you'll borrow, steal something, do it, and then later it's all gone. If once you'll get in loss, then it's completely a trouble. Okay. Then comes the FOB pricing. So then the tariff, then the freights, and then the marketing cost. If these are all including, you are in a positive, then be in the business or pick that product. If it's in negative, doesn't make sense. Just squash the product, start looking for something else. Because end of the day, however every strategy works, if the profitability is not justified, your FOB pricing, your ex-works pricing, FOB pricing, tariffs, freights, and marketing cost, if these are not giving you enough of profit, at least nothing less than 15 to 20%, then don't be in this business. Especially for the raw materials where people work for 2% or maybe 0.8%, right? When it comes to rice and all, the margins are less. But when you're working at that number, which is like 0.8% or something, the volume is huge. Why you have to work with the rice is, even if the margin is less, the volumes are so huge, you'll be able to justify it. But you don't have a volume, you don't have a margin, and whatever the market you're working, it's all on negative. Buying at 27, selling at 22, not making sense. Don't be in this business. And especially in perishable. And even there is one more point if you want to add, look for the payment terms. Okay. If the payment terms are not in your favor, if the industry standard is not in your favor, then even look for that. Because at the moment, what I say is, you may have a good trades, but in some situations, if the markets are already saturated and if the market offerings is very less or the payment terms are too risky, then don't enter to those markets. Will not help you. Okay. So if currently the geopolitical situation is because of Trump, we have a lot of issues. Even HB, H1B1 visa, all of these sort of visas are getting affected, right? So it's not only for the product. He's coming for everything. He don't want to keep the relations with India. That's absolutely fine. We have dignity. We'll find the new business. We'll still support to the domestic. We'll sell it in the domestic market. And moreover, whatever we can do the best, we can look for other markets. Even the Indian government is trying to sign the free trade agreements with couple of more markets. So we'll see that, how the things works. So we also focus on something that, okay, we have already routed. There are a few containers that we have packed for US. Now that has been routed towards Africa. Some are routed towards Europe. Some are routed towards Singapore. So these are all happening. Okay, this is not only with our business. This majorly from all the Indian exports where we thought US is the main market. This has got tampered and now we can't really deal anything with it. So now what I suggest you is look for the diversifying your markets. When you feel there is 70% of your business coming from one single market. Why people are more worried now? Because US was more than 70% of the business provider or the buyer of more than 70% of the business is only in the one single market. That's why the people are getting a pinch. If I am getting like 20% from here, 30% from somewhere else, 50% from somewhere else, etc., then I would have not worried, because if one market's even squash, like 20% market is gone, still I have 30%. If 30% gone, at least I have 50%. So there are diversified, there are multiple markets which I'm working in, then I don't really bother about it. But I don't have a market, I'm still stick to one single buyer and one single market. If US imposes 50%, then we are dead. That's what exactly happening. Leather, textiles, pharmaceuticals, marine products. We have the marine customers. When we pitch them saying that, okay, why don't we work on a global market? They were not interested because they were very much comfortable. Now, when this tariff has hit in, like 50%, is not the margin that we can observe. So easily there is a dip of 20 to 30% of the business. This is exactly going to suffer. And there are few companies whose 100% business is coming from US. So now what? You cannot supply. That's gone. The buyers are not interested anymore. So now you have a business and you have a people to feed. Because of your undiversified markets, you're taking a hit. So what I suggest is, don't put all the eggs in one single basket if you're not watching it closely. And you always get hints in the business when you're looking to the global news and sort of that. These are something that you get to know. Trump was always against Indian tariffs and he has imposed it. There is nothing that surprises us, but still 50%, 200%, 80%, we are not sure. Even till yesterday, I could say like, okay, there are talks happening on a free trade agreement. If that happens, then good. If this doesn't happen, and even if the free trade agreement happens, I'm not very much sure that, okay, this man is crazy. You can't trust him. Or even he says like, okay, this free trade agreement is not in our favor, let's cancel it, or we will not honor it, because he has already done for few agreements. Then you just need to let it go. That's it, right? Even after free trade agreement, if your HSN code is not in the agreement, there's no benefit for you. The Indian government is trying to do it. They are trying to do the good job. But end of the day, you're having a trouble with someone who's completely out of his mind. What he gives the statement, what he flips up to the next, what's he tacos on, you never know. This has been happening with China. This is happening with us. This can happen with anyone else. So everyone is looking for the deal, but due to this unstable man, we can't do anything. So the country should focus on something. When you're voting, why your vote is important? Because you shouldn't hire or you shouldn't give power to such an idiot who can kill up your whole business. Okay, but yeah, India is fine, absolutely fine. We are not really worried. We have a good leader to manage Indian business. From maybe in a couple of days, we'll be having a GST cut. So what I suggest you is, we'll also start to support Indian MSMEs. So we are launching few programs sooner, so we'll see that. But what I suggest you is, the GST cut is a big thing. You can start, when you're purchasing locally, the plan should be something like, okay, when I need something, I purchase Indian brands. When I want to export it, I'll sell globally. So this should be your strategy. Consume the local brands, export to the global market, sell your products to the global market, give the best quality, do the best certifications, and wherever you need our help, you can get in touch with us. We can help you with that. Okay. So when you are not diversifying your market, if US redirects, basically what you can do is, if the tariff is raised, you can redirect your materials to other markets. But if you have done the packaging, everything based on the US standards, right, then probably of getting it shifted is going to be difficult. So look towards that, and when you're planning, if this situation arises and if you get a hint that if this are the effects which is going to be, then at least you would have better planned accordingly. Okay, then use FTA benefits. So there are a lot of FTAs we have already signed with multiple countries. So it's better you go with ASEAN, Mauritius, UAE, Australia, sort of that, and take a benefit and see if there is something that you can supply them and start working with them closely. So that, because if this market, US market is gone, then at least we cannot die with them, right? They claim it as India is a dying market and they ask us to buy their corn. That's something ununderstandable. Either you stand by one. Either you tell us, okay, Indian economy is dying, we don't want to do any business, or you ask for the business. You're saying that we are dying and then you come back to us and asking for the business. That looks funny. They are like, we thought of people in United States have some kind of a brain, functional brains, but it's dead. We can't really do anything about it, right? So as a government, whatever the best they try, if the tariff comes in, if the tariff slows down to 10% or 12% or 15%, anything, there's still a price from comparing from zero, which we have not paid anything, now we are going to pay at least 15%. We are paying 50, 15 is far better than 50%, but still 15 is also more than the previous situations. Okay, so there are many Indians who have supported Trump to be elected. This is the current reality. Never trust these US presidents or United States to that matter. Okay, so no one in the international politics is your friend or enemy. It's all their interest. Okay, this guy is planning. He is after not only the products. The products supply chain is different, but when it comes to digital products, we are already in deficit. India purchases more digital services than the products. So what I say is like, okay, if you have to put a tariff, even Indian government has to take some actions over it. We can't really do anything about it. Yeah, let them take a call. But what I suggest to you is, if this situation arises in any country, not only this, because you have seen Maldives, Moizu, the president of Maldives, has won the election based on India out. This was the campaign. This was the name of his campaign. So do you think that if the Maldives is the market for you, and then if you look towards that, okay, India out is the sentiment which is carrying out, there is no big demand coming in, right? So you need to look forward those two. Move up the value chain. So instead of raw materials, if you can hit the higher tariff, then go for a value-added products. And even if you fall under different HSN code, please try that. Because HSN code is all going to be defined that, okay, whether you're being tariffed or not. But if they are saying like, okay, certificate of origin itself defines the tariff. Like in US at the moment, certificate of origin itself is 50%. You can't do anything about it, right? So certificate of origin is India, then yeah, you need to pay 50%. That's it. Not on HS codes, right? Instead of exporting the raw chilies, try to look for the blends or even for ready to cook kind of spices. Just in case, in few markets, what happens here is they are not okay with the raw material imports. So they impose around 20% tariff here. Okay. So, but when it comes to ready to cook, there is almost like 5% tariff. So do a workout on the ready to cook materials instead of going for a raw material. Because anyway, your 5% tariff means it gives you a higher business. It will be a better product to sell. So look for these things. If raw material is 20%, blend or semi is around 10%, and ready to cook is 5%. Pick what suits the more. The profit should be higher, the tariff should be lesser. That is the golden line for your product. If this is something you can calculate and understand the agreements and make the deal, good to go. Okay. So there is a third routing which I have already mentioned. Either you send it to Dubai or Singapore or Vietnam and take a tariff exemptions and then route the products. But here there is something called as minimum value adding in those countries. Between Vietnam and US, you need to check what is the minimum value adding that you need to do in Vietnam products to send it to US at a duty exemptions. So here it could be something like, okay, 30% of the value adding should happen. 30% means 70% it's an Indian product. You send it to Vietnam, do a value adding of 30% and then ship it to US at 100 rupees. So then the tariff will be lesser. So calculate that and functionalities should be this. How much you sell it from India, then you do a value adding in Vietnam and then you reroute to US. This is the functionality which should work. If the US says like, okay, any rerouting from Indian, if it has the product has a origin of India by any chance, then that product will attract 50%. Then rerouting also doesn't make any sense. So just don't get into it. Okay. Set up export oriented units. If just in case there is a Dubai exemptions, Singapore exemption or Vietnam exemption, this is something you can bypass or else it's going to be in a trouble. Then negotiate with buyers. If you are on a good terms, for example, you have a good profits, which is something like we are working with the profits more than 100%, right? The profit area, like my production is around 100, I'll sell it at 200. Now, what we can do is, because of this tariff is a hit, which is around 50%, what I'll do is I'll ask my buyer to split it. 25% of tariff I'll take care, 25% you take care. We'll still continue the business, or we'll still get into a long-term agreement. At least you can do that. Good. But if your profit margin is 10%, how come you can observe more than 50%? That's not possible. You cannot observe it. You need to do a value adding, and you need to pass it to the customers, and whatever the price drop is going to, the volume drop is going to come, there is going to be a slightly business drop. Still okay, you have to sustain with it, right? Until for next few years, until Trump leaves the seat, and we expect if there is a sensible president comes to in a US market. But never sure, but you cannot trust US anymore, so keep it that way. Okay, so navigate to the current political instabilities. So stay flexible with the products and markets. Don't just get married with it and just like, okay, I'm doing this, that's all what I have to do. If you are a manufacturer, you don't have a other go. But when it comes to merchant traders, you can still switch your products and look for evergreen sectors. Food, clothing, shelter, this is something evergreen industries. You can start working under sub-brands, sub-qualities, sub-categories of this, or either shelter, either clothing, or either the food. So these are the three basic needs of human beings. However the recession comes in, these are the basic needs. So focus on that, and if that's something being taken care, good for your business. Okay. So then there is always geopolitical signals. That is something, the hint what I said before. The Moizu had come into elected based on India Out campaign. So what is the sentiment of his going to be? It's always going to be on a negative side. So you need to start looking for a new market. If just in case, if Maldives comes, the president is being elected on India Out, that is the state sentiment. In that case, you can just let it go and start looking for a new market. Right? Or else don't put so much of dependency over that market, because that is going to be, if it's more than 70%, it's going to kill your business. Just keep a dependency on single market. We need at least 20%. Start working on multiple markets. That's where your money is going to be. Or else your whole business can go in a toss without doing anything wrong. Because we have not done anything wrong to the Trump personally. But when it comes to the tariffs and all of it, yeah, we are facing the consequences. Just not doing by anything, right? So these are the situations that you need to look forward. Then comes the US elections. There was a tariff rise. EU is asking for a carbon taxes. So you need to look for that. And Middle East is like, there is a growth in infrastructure, basic food demands. So look for those markets. It's really working. And strengthen your digital presence. If someone is searching for something, please be visible. If you're not visible online, then you're dead. If you don't have your own website, you don't have your own domain email IDs, then it's all dead. So look for, the website prices may go from 23,000 to 53,000. That's what we design. You can look for a cheaper and a better options than this. You have a lot of variants to get in. So check on that. And lead automation is something that you need to focus on today. Because after AI coming in, you need to integrate each and everything, do automations. Lead generation is the whole process. If you are getting leads across the markets and your product is demanding, you have a good shelf life, you have a good tariff imposed, there is no big tariffs that you need to pay. Look for all those markets, start generating leads, run campaign. It works well. Marketing, data, ads, calling, international calling, cold emails or strategic emails works very well. Then when it comes to the financial situations like this today, so you need to be sure that there is a risk hedging. So you need to go with the bank and tell them that there is a forex fluctuation. You never know at what price you are getting, the higher, the lower, the mid. So you need to do a hedging agreement with the bank. So what I suggest you is go and ask them for forex hedging or a forward contracts. You can just do a hedging and then you can fix a price, which is whatever the fluctuation in the global market could be for $1. It could be 86, 87 something, but you can still go and do a hedging for 85 rupees and lock it. Whenever your money is going to come, it's going to be converted this price for sure. It could be in the global market at that point of time, it could be 83 also. Doesn't matter. Your prices is fixed, so you can do this. So future contracts are really necessary in today's time due to of the volatility in the international market. So what is the practical strategy that you can use it for here? So when you are looking to export your products to the global market, the first strategy what you need to look at is, okay, you need to shortlist at least 3 to 4 products. If you are not a manufacturer, if you are already manufacturing, there is no point of switching your products, stick to it. That's your wife for your life. So it's all done. But if you are a newbie and you are looking for a merchant trading, then pick at least 2 to 3 products which has a low tariffs, stable demand, workable. There are pick something like a dynamic products, but tariffs are maybe huge, but still has a growth to 1 or 2 products from there. So at least 4 products you can start working and then see what makes sense, and then start looking for the diversified markets where you have a better options. Run market valuations. So it could be like you can use like ITC Trade Map or LinkedIn Buyer Search, testing, text them and see what they have to say. So run small trial exports. So this will give you insights instead of going with okay, someone is buying like so many crores of materials from India. Instead of saying that, okay, how many of the buyers are interested to buy from you? That is something that you need to work at. So it's not always on the data which is going to give you a boost to give confidence. Yeah, if something is going, then you don't need to worry about it. You can also export. That is one step of it. But the next step is saying that, okay, are the people are ready to buy it from you or not? So once you get that validations from the buyers and you have a PI or if someone has given you a purchase intent or someone is showing interest over it, and if someone is joining the meetings, then really works for it. Okay. So run small trials, send some samples and see if that things works. Build a multi-market portfolio. If it's like a premium, then look for US or European markets. If it's a medium quality, volume is what you're looking at. Middle East, African markets are the game. And if you are like, okay, there is not so premium products, even if you can look for FTAs with the Asian markets and see if the product has a demand. So premium, mid and average. All the products are being exported into the global market. Every market buys everything. Just the thing is, who is your buyer and what are you targeting him? And how are you giving the value to him? So that is all is going to define how your business is going to run. So keep that in mind and plan accordingly. So build relationship beyond prices. Just like someone has a relation of only $0.5, right? So if this 0.5 is a benefit, as far as you're giving this benefit to him, good, your relation is stable. If that $0.5 goes off, then it's gone. There is no more business. As simple as that. So 0.5 is nothing but a cent, okay? So when you're calculating that, there is a trouble in the international business. But if you build the business over the time, supporting them with reliability, certification, branding, quality, no constraints, responding voluntarily, and being available, that's itself is a big challenge today in export-import business. People don't even answer the calls after receiving orders. That's a bigger problem if I have to face it. Okay, here I've taken an example of turmeric powder. So I'll just take as a real case study and I'll just explain you how exactly the turmeric business works and what you can exactly do with it. Okay, so this is the same process that you have to look for other markets or other products. Do the same replica or do the same analysis for your products, and if you need our help, we are always there. Okay, obviously at a pay, not at a free cost. So major regions, when you are looking to purchase the turmeric powder as a merchant trader, you need to look at, okay, which are the regions who produces turmeric and what are the grades. So Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Odisha, Salem, these are the famous ones. And what is that you need to look for the major content is the curcumin level. Curcumin level is around 3 to 5%. This is medium. And if it's more than 5%, then you have a better grade coming in and you have a better prices for it. So what is exactly the market is looking? There is a market for 2%. There is a market for 3%. There is a market for 5%. There is a market for 7%. There is also the market for 9%. 9% is the curcumin content. in the turmeric what you're supplying. If the curcumin level is higher, the prices are going to be more higher than that. And adding to it, if it's organic by any chance, you still have more prices to it. So basic understanding of the product. Second is the sourcing constraints. What is the problem that you need to solve today? So majorly, curcumin content is minimum 3 to 4%, and the premium is something at least like 5 to 6%. And moreover, you need all of these certifications. Clean mining, material detections, all of this. And this is the packaging. So at least PP bags of 25 kgs to 50 kgs, retail packaging, pouches, these are all something that you do. But if I have to say, the bigger sourcing considerations, if you are able to do this, well and good. And cost at source, if you look at in today's time, if you are purchasing the raw turmeric fingers, it could be around 110 to 150 rupees per kg. Many people come back to me and say like, okay, so we are not getting at this price, your prices are too low, too high, don't worry about it. I am what I am purchasing. I am saying it with the responsibility. What is that I am purchasing? You are not able to get this price, go and work on your pricing. If you are getting cheaper than this, good for you. Please look into the quality also. And if it's giving you a promising thing, then start exporting. There is no hurdle on it. Then processing and grading, 8 to 10 rupees. Pricing and labeling is around 5 to 8 rupees. Local logistics, compliances, overheads, 5 to 7 rupees again. So FOB prices, currently what we are dealing is 135 to 170 rupees per kg. If you're able to look at that pricing, then if it's attracting, then good. So what are the margins and the pricings that we can expect? So when it comes to international market, in the bulk market, you can go for 2.8 to $4.5 per kg. So convert it to whatever the current value of rupees dollar is. So you can, it depends on curcumin percentage, origin, and organic certifications. If these defines very well, then you have a good profits here. And if it's organic and you're doing a retail one, then you can go by $6 to $12 per kg. If it's a branded and packaging sort of that. So the margin analysis per kg is like $2 is the FOB, 3.2 is the selling price, and 1.2 is something that you can consider at least 37% for the powders. Is the same value the price, the profitability is for the fingers? No. Finger has a lesser margins comparing to the finished one. So then the retail value, if you are selling at $2, brand value is around 8, but distribution is around 2.4, the retail realization is 5.8, at least you get 180% for your turmeric powder. But here the risk is you have to go complete with your money in point of marketing, branding, promoting, everything, or else it's going to be a bigger problem for you. Okay, so this is a margin may attract you, but even the responsibility is also the same. You need to hold the warehouse in those countries, manage the orders. It could be from e-commerce, retail shipments. Even if you are sending it to a GT or MT, you need to make sure that the payments are coming on time. You need to have a local team to manage all of this. If that's there, then good. You have a good business setup and you can start working around it. See, end of the day, the whole success of the business is completely lies on the supply chain. If your supply chain is strong, no issues in it. So what are the key challenges? Why the people pay for you? So one is the sourcing challenges. Adulteration is the biggest problem in India. Whatever the starch, lead, whatever they can mix, they will just mix it to increase the value or the volume of the quantity. But when we do the testing part, these are all the parameters will trigger and you get to know that these are the turmeric powder that has been adulterated and these are not in a permissible limit to export. So look out for the permissible limits and what are the adulterations that could be possibly done in your container. If something goes wrong here on the quality, who is responsible? That your agreement has to define. If you need agreements, if you need any help on that, please get in touch with us. Maintain consistent curcumin volume or levels, because normally what happens in India is we don't get 9% curcumin or 6% curcumin. Even if you get 5% also, it's not from one single land. You purchase it in pieces from multiple sourcing. Maybe someone is at 2%, 3% curcumin, 2%, 5%. When you mix it all, it averages up somewhere around 3.5 or something. So that is the biggest challenge that you need to solve. If you are promising 5% curcumin, then it has to be plus or minus 5.2%. If it's more than 5%, good. Less than 5%, at least 4.9, still acceptable. If it's 4, no. If it's 3, never. If it's 2, impossible. Your container will be rejected for sure. Or they may go for a renegotiation on the pricing. What we are paying you based on the curcumin level, you have quoted us for 5%, but now you have sent us 2%. Now we are going to deduct at least 3 or 30% of the order value. Then the whole business goes for a toss. Whatever the effort, whatever the attractive, the markets that you've been looking for, that's gone. So then look towards seasonal fluctuation, harvest, off season, all of it. What I suggest is be transparent. There is no trick here. When you're getting the orders, you need to share them the test reports, give them the samples, get an approval. This is exactly the material I'm going to share you. Please check and let me know if this is something that exactly what you want. If agreed, then fix or negotiate the prices on that samples. Instead of giving a false commitment saying that, okay, curcumin level is going to is above the limit, and later giving it to substandard quality, not really going to help you. Okay. If you be open, you get next order. You will be at least considered for next. When you cheat someone, there is nothing called as next. It's all gone. Right? Regulatory challenges. FDA, US FDA, something like you need to look for lead, pesticides, chemicals, like limits. When you get it tested, you get to know everything. So if it's limited, like if it's permitted, then only supply them, or else it's going to be a defect. So many people, what they do is they skip the basic testing or a pre-shipment testing or a production time testing. So if you do that, what happens here is automatically you get to know it only when your shipment is already sent. Then later the buyer may be like you have already scammed the buyer. He may ask for a refund or he may file a legal suit on you. So instead of that, when at the time of production, at the time of packaging, at the time of ordering, even at the raw material when it's arrived to grind it, so please check the limits. If that's okay, consider it as accepted. If that is not coming in, then please reject the materials and purchase some other materials to grind it. Do not ever promise and give a substandards. Please go make that things workable. Okay. EU. So there is again residues limits. You need to look for that. What is the residue limits? How do I get to know? Normally you have a EU websites where you can check for these qualities, or you can straight away ask your buyer about it. Okay. So you can send him the samples, let him check, and he can get back to you. Or else you can share him the report and you can ask him, instead of sending samples, what I suggest you is send the reports first, let him evaluate if it's working, if it's in the permissible limit, good, work around it. So organic certifications can be time consuming, but still that's a challenge that you need to solve because we have already seen these many chemicals. Even Indian government is pushing towards the organic side. So the fertilizer taxations, or it could be the restrictions on the fertilizers, these are going to be the thing. But later, when you go organic, this is healthy, this is wealthy, and this is real money is in. So focus on this, it works. Marketing challenges. Highly competitive. India, Vietnam, Myanmar all supplies turmerics. So what grade or what quality that you provide and at what price, this is all going to define whether you're going to get an order or not. If your prices are so high than your competitors, then you need to justify the prices. If your product doesn't have, it's all the same grade, 5, 5, 5. There's no difference. When you say like, okay, my quality is good, on what basis? Your curcumin level is the same. All the limits are going to be the same. Then there is no point just on your verbal that you feel your quality is good, I'm going to pay more. No, that's not happening. Only when your buyer feels that your product is good, only then the buyer is ready to pay you. So consider this. You're not important, your customers are important. Ask them how much they are going to pay and ask them, is your quality good or bad? You don't define your product. Get it tested, send the report, let them decide. Okay? So buyer offers always pushes to the lower price. Consider what is the lower price, what is the best you can do. Never spoil the market. What I say is don't get into a price battle, which I say like, okay, someone is giving at 10, okay, I'll give at 8. No, that is not how we do it. Someone is giving at 10, you also give it at 10 or give at 11 and then negotiate back to 10 because of your quality grading. Just don't go like 10 to 8, someone 6 or 5. Later you are going to spoil the whole business. Tomorrow, even if you want money if for your own self-scaling, not happening. Because your buyer are already buying at $5, then you are gone. So consider that. That should be very much important. Build trust. Overseas buyer, adulterated turmerics. These are something on case-to-case basis that you need to check. Please keep this adulteration out of your business. Don't try to get into some kind of a shortcuts or don't try to cut corners. It's going to kill your business. So many people have the challenge. We are addressing the elephant in the room. So how do I get orders? Where do I get the buyers? Use the B2B platforms. Many people say like, okay, B2B platforms are not genuine sort of it. See, there are mixed set of people. Some are genuine, some are scammers, some are frauds. Okay, it's okay. You can just take a leads as a pinch of salt and then see if these are making sense. Then invest your time, or else if it's keep on happening repeatedly, then update your RM about it and check if that works. If not, then yeah, kill the business. That's it. There is nothing that B2B business may be helpful for your industry. For few industry, it works very well. Alibaba, India Mart, Go for World, Trade Key, Exporters India. These are something that we are already using. These are works very well. But the problem is like every lead is being circulated to multiple people. Until you have your own team or until you hire the export management company to do the whole job for you, until then exclusive leads are very difficult for you to get. But these are all the chances you can use it. This is also the medium because many businesses are still using India Mart, Alibaba for lead generation basis. The primary lead generation is done on Alibaba. Imagine. So there are few businesses works very well. For few businesses, it's completely waste of money. There is nothing these websites are providing. So there are, what I say is B2B websites are good for some and not good for some. So in which category do you fall in? That is something you need to check. Okay. And optimize all your turmeric products to this HSN code 09103030. And moreover, to get orders, please attend trade fairs. If you have money, please go and visit. If you don't have money, please purchase these data which are available in the international market. And moreover, this board is for your support. When you purchase a RCMC from them, when you pay them, you can ask for data. Ask the data, that's your right. And that's their responsibility to give. Yeah, how early they do it? Because end of the day, government entity, lazy dogs, they may not respond properly in sometimes. But still, many times we have seen many boards who are there voluntarily they are supporting the data, they are providing the data. Based on the category that you have filed, they are sending you the leads. That's very important. Some bodies really do a good job. And some bodies obviously, it's a typical government entity. Okay, so direct outreach, this is the best thing. Okay, I can say like, okay, there are BA2B platforms didn't work or exhibitions didn't work, this all data didn't work, or even the Export Promotional Council didn't support. But this is something that's in your hand, direct outreach. Go and talk to people, just buy the database of importers who are already buying, check for the middlemen, traders, get in touch with them. Start approaching, do a LinkedIn lead generation campaign instead of sticking to Alibaba or India Mart. Until they give leads, you don't have any leads, but you can do it by yourselves. These are something is no one stopping you to do it. This is the most important lead generation process or the lead generation option that we prefer in JB Experts. We use always this. This brings 90% of my business, rest all do a contribution. This is one thing that gives the money to the company and the partners of us, right? So then intermediaries, tie up with collaborators, export house, import houses, and even a license if you want to build your own network. So go and meet them, understand what's the need, and then plan it accordingly. So order execution. So here, when it comes to order executions, what you need to do here is, the first thing, when you get an inquiry, just an agreement, make an agreement, understand what is the confirmed order, quantity, HSK code, Incoterms. If you don't understand any of this, we are right here to help you. Whatever the deals or inquiries you get, you can book a consultation with us, we can help you with that. Compliances, make sure if you have FSSI, because turmeric powder is a agricultural product, which is a plant-based product. So FSSI, pathosanitary certifications, and Spice Board registration is mandatory. You need to take care of it. Packaging and labeling. As per design standards, batch, number, expiry date, net weight, country of origin, these are something that is need to be mentioned, and with the manufacturer infos on it. So many people had a question saying that, sir, I'm a merchant trader, but there is a manufacturer who is providing me the powders, but do I need to mention his manufacturing details? Yes, you need to. Because FSSI mandatory rules is that you need to mention the manufacturer and the plant address on the packagings. So that is very much mandatory. So follow all of that rules. And logistics. So bulk export, 20 to 20 feet container is good enough for a turmeric powder. So it's around 18 to 20 metric tons. That's what you can, depends on what kind of a packaging is it. So choose sea routes for a cheaper option. If you want the faster one, if the buyer is ready to pay for anything, you can do a air shipment also. End of the day, you're not going to invest the money in, so it's your buyer who's going to pay it. So it's okay, any which way. And if you're sending out samples, please do it by Indian Postal Service. In today's time, they are the cheapest and the best options possible. So look out for that. And what is the documentation that you need? Commercial invoice, whatever we call it as an invoice, commercial invoice is all the same. Don't get confused over it. So invoice and commercial invoice, there is no difference. Okay. Packaging list, bill of lading. So bill of lading is only when you send it by sea routes. Okay. Or else you will get a airway bill. Certificate of origin, that is mandatory. Pathosanitary certificate, that is mandatory. So get this and you're good with the Indian compliances. Okay, so what is for Europe? Then again depends what country, the duration, grade, standards, permissible limit, and the packaging requirement of that country. It could be French and English, or it could be Spanish and English. It could be only Spanish. It could be anything. So it depends on what country and what is your buyer preference. End of the day, the whole label designing is normally done by your buyer, so you don't need to worry on it. And then comes the custom clearances, file shipping bill via ICE gate, and once you get Leo, your product are clear to export. The container or the package will be loaded to the vessel and vessel will sell. Okay. Then comes the bankroll. Okay, what the bank has to do with it? One is you need to open a bank account with IC. Then comes the letter of credit. If you are dealing in letter of credits or LCE transactions, or if you are getting a bank like payments in advance, then normally you don't need to get into worry of this. But if you are not getting advance payments, then you need to go for LC or a bank guarantee for a higher value. So then comes the handle export remittance. Normally when your product is already reached or your payment has to come. So when your money hits to your bank account, do not convert it immediately. You can open a WFC account, or else you can do a hedging, which I've already mentioned, because of a volatility. Before sending quotations, you need to decide that am I going to take a risk or am I going to take the hedging? So which is something stable. What is my capacity of a deal breaker? So for example, how it happens here is I have a $10 shipment. Okay. Do I do a hedging for it? Hedging itself is going to cost me $2,500 plus premium. So instead of $10 this much, if I'm doing it at around 1,000 or 1 lakh shipment, okay, so I'll take it as 1 lakh dollar. Then the risk is huge. Then I will go for pure hedging. Whatever the premium and whatever the fee that they are going to charge, I'm ready to pay for it. So that is how you need to decide. If it's a $10 doesn't make a big difference. $10 is what, right? So plus or minus 10, 15 rupees. That's okay. That's not I have that much of appetite. But when it fluctuates in lakhs together, no, I am not ready to take that risk. So in those cases, because all your profits and your income is going to get fluctuated in lakhs or crores. So be careful on that. Okay. Offer packaging, credit loans, before shipment, please make sure you have this credit loan required. Only then go for it. If you have your own capital, good for it. Then see if there is a lot of videos which I made on an investment front. You can check on that too. Okay. Discounting on export bills. So if you have getting the LC copy, even you can take the loan from there. So bank will support you on export business. In today's time, bank has targets to support the exporters like us. But end of the day, they also look towards your capacity, your way of operations. If that works, good. That's how it's done. Funding options. Pre-shipment finance for raw material purchase, processing, post-shipment, ECGC. If you are giving out credit, then you need to take ECGC at least from the government entity. And in practical, if there is a confirmed LC from the buyer, you can go to bank, realize it, take a working capital and process the shipment, because you can take LC as the guarantee of the money. Okay. Then comes the end-to-end flow. So here, what do you do first? Source the turmeric, check the quality and quantity, and then mill it, powder it, send it to test lab, and then check if that is something good for the market. Get the approval on the go-to-go, day-to-day basis, get it updated to your customer. Don't keep it in a dark and later come back and say that, okay, the products were not good, so we rejected the material. Don't do that. On the day one itself, be transparent. What is happening? The samples have arrived. Now it's getting grinded. We are sending it to the lab. Once the lab report comes in, I'll share it to you. Then you give me a confirmation. Then we'll process the whole shipment. That is the normal process. Then comes getting order, confirmed LC, payment terms, and booking freight. Once everything is done, documentations, custom clearances, shipping. Then buyer receives it, bank realization payment. If there is any balance payment to be paid, that the buyer will pay it, and then repeat the thing with the new buyers and the new markets. So this is the way you need to operate. If there is plus or minus, anything can be changing here and there, maybe because of the operational process, but still turmeric powder is a good business. If you look towards the margin, 30 to 40% in bulk and 150 to 80% in the branding packages. Branding packages, you need to take care of marketing cost, you need to take care of storage cost and every supply chain issues. So bigger hurdles is like quality constraints, certifications, and moreover competitive pricings. And the biggest challenge, as I already discussed, is the adulterations. If you are sure that the manufacturer is going to give you the best grade, then go for it. Even for the manufacturers, if you feel that your vendor who is supplying you the raw material, he will not compromise, then it's a good deal. Banks, you can get the fundings from PCFCs. It's like before shipments, and even LC discounting. If you got a LC copy, go for a bank. Tell them that I don't have funds, but I have LC. I got order confirmations. Now I want you to fund it. So go ahead and work it around and see whether they need a collateral, or is it like maybe on an initial 1 or 2 transaction they may ask for a collateral, but later they will just let it go. It's okay, right? Because the transaction itself will speak for it. 1 or 2 transactions, if you do it, then they will not ask for a collaterals. That's as simple as that. Then comes the strategy: start bulk, gain trust, move to the private labels, retain packages, scale with certifications, organic, EU or US FDA. So whatever is needed, get it done. Okay. So here is the price. Again, I know the prices may change from region to region, buyer to buyer, the way we negotiate. This is something that we are dealing. These are the prices that we have already done the transactions. So this is just an analysis for you. Do not take it as like, okay, this is what you are saying is good or bad, or this is the price exactly. We don't need the advice here, because we are already doing it. We already have the buyers, we already have the manufacturer to supply us. So this is all sorted. But this is for your information, for your referring point. If this may make sense for you, go ahead and do the trade accordingly. At least if the numbers doesn't make sense, go with this. This is something, this section is important. Okay. Okay, this is fine. This is all discussable. Okay, so you're getting a better price, we don't get this price at all, this is a false pricing, sir, we can give you better than this. No, we don't need it, right? Because we have agreements with many people. So based on that, we are working on. So what is the calculation here is raw materials, raw turmeric, then processing, then packaging, then local transportations and warehouse, compliances and certifications, the FOB prices. So if you're getting at this price, then you can look for how much is the freight price. Okay, for European or US, it's around 21 rupees per kg, it's around 370 lakh. And then again, prices may differ, depends on shipping line, depends on time, various things. And this is for 18,000 kgs. So if you consider this per kg, this is the cost. And selling price and profitability, if you can look at selling price is at $3, if I'm selling it at $3, which is approximately at this price, so value is this, CI pricing is this, the gross profit is this, and this is the profit margin. Profit margin, does it mean that this is all what the money has been left for me? No. You need to substitute by EBITDA, earning before taxes, depreciation, all of that. Then you need to decide, okay, this is something that working for me, and then if this product is good for you or not. The first comes is the summary. You need to look forward for your working capital. If you don't have 23 to 25 lakhs, then you need to make sure you are doing a LCL container or a sample based orders only. Because end of the day, you don't have money, then you don't have it. That's it. You can't do anything about it. You can cut it down by the quantity or the volume, but your buyer should agree to it, and you need to send in small batches. It could be lakh or 2 or 5 lakhs, something that you can do, but that can be done only in LCL. In LCL, you pay per CBM basis. So you calculate that. CBM, what is CBM? How do they book the containers? What's the prices? It's already there in the videos. Please go in the playlist and check the same. Revenue, around 45 lakhs is the difference. 25 lakhs is what you're investing, 45 lakhs is the revenue what you're generating, 17 to 18 lakhs is the profit that you are going to make if you're selling it at $3 per kg, and if your profit margin is at least 39%. Plus or minus 5% is always there. That's possible, but this is something at least I want you to work around. Many people would be always asking me like, okay, sir, can you just give me the worksheet, what you are using? So if you want to purchase the same worksheet, you can do as rohitdesai.in, visit this page, come to digital products. You have all the documents that I have used in all my videos before. You can come here, click on it, click on buy now, log in if you have not logged in, and then proceed it and make a payment and register yourself and start paying. So then you can use this document what I have used, and that is good enough for you to start with. Okay. This is all the infos what I have provided you. The complete presentation is right here. If you want, you can purchase. You can look out for other details also, all the other services. And if you need paid consultation for 30 minutes or 60 minutes, you can book a call with us. It's a paid thing. And if you want us to manage your entire export management service, that is also a premium package that we offer with the commitment. So if you are interested in that, please give us a call on our office number that's there in the description. You can just have a look towards that. Give us a call, speak to my sales team, understand how we operate, and you are comfortable, then get it tied up with us. We can take the business forward. And apart from this, if you need any compliances, agreement, negotiations, or sales closure meetings, even we can do that for you. Please get in touch with us. Okay. So thank you so much. If you like this video or if you need any more information, please use comment box for free of cost. We'll respond back. If you need any premium services, give us a call. We'll help you out. Okay. Thank you so much. And if you like this video, please hit the like button and do not forget to subscribe. You'll get more knowledgeable videos like this. Thank you so much. Catch you up in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.